The night was cloaked in an oppressive silence, as though the universe itself was holding its breath. Then Enoch spoke, and his words tore through the stillness. The fate of the sinners is sealed, and what awaits them is unimaginable torment. Prepare yourselves, for no one can escape the gaze of divine justice. Today, you will witness a judgment like no other. Enoch revealed a grand and terrifying vision, where the Creator separates the righteous from the wicked. The righteous will walk in eternal glory, while the sinners will face an abyss of suffering beyond words. This is the moment when the celestial books are opened, and the truth of every life is unveiled. Are you ready to face the weight of these revelations? Because what you are about to see is not just a distant story, it is a warning that echoes to this day, a reminder that the choices we make shape eternity. If you believe in divine justice and the promise of redemption, like this video to support spreading this message. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to follow every part of this epic journey. Share this truth with someone you love, for judgment draws near, and the decision is yours. Darkness covered the earth, but Enoch, in his solitude, was enveloped by a light that neither the sun nor the moon could produce. It was a living light, pulsing with purpose and power. He was awakened from his rest by a presence that was both terrifying and glorious. Before him stood celestial beings, majestic in form, their eyes shining like stars and their voices reverberating like thunder. "Enoch," one of the figures spoke, its voice filling the air with divine authority. "You have been chosen to witness what no mortal has ever seen. Rise, for you will be taken beyond the heavens to behold the mysteries of the universe." Before he could respond, the ground trembled beneath his feet, and an invisible force lifted him. Though fear gripped him, an unexpected courage began to rise within. What Enoch saw was indescribable. He was taken to a realm where time seemed to cease, surrounded by a vastness beyond human comprehension. There, he encountered the celestial books, sacred records containing the deeds of all humanity. Each page glowed with the undeniable truth of the choices made by men and women. "Nothing is hidden," the angels said. "Every action, every thought is recorded here, awaiting the day of judgment." Among the visions, Enoch saw the corruption that had consumed the world. He saw the fallen angels who had taught forbidden practices to humanity, and the devastating consequences of their teachings. The Nephilim, giants born of these profane unions, ravaged the earth, devouring everything in their path. The harmony of creation had been shattered, and divine justice would not delay. Enoch realized that the Creator was patiently waiting for the appointed time to act. The flood would be only the beginning, a cleansing act, but the final judgment would be far greater. He saw the destiny of the righteous, lifted to eternal glory, and the fate of the sinners, condemned to unending torment. Each vision imprinted itself on his mind with crystal clarity. Enoch understood that he was not merely an observer but also a messenger. Everything he saw was not for him to keep but to share, to warn future generations of the gravity of divine judgment. Time was running out, and the choice was clear: walk in the light or be consumed by the darkness. Enoch's visions unfolded before him like a scroll being unrolled, revealing the culmination of humanity's fate. He saw the moment when the Creator would open the celestial books, laying bare the deeds of all humanity. Every choice, every word spoken or withheld, would be exposed before the divine court. There would be no place to hide, and the justice rendered would be absolute. The judgment began with a great sound, like the echo of celestial trumpets reverberating through creation. The heavens darkened, and the earth trembled under the weight of divine presence. Then angels assembled, bringing the righteous and the wicked before the radiant throne of God. For the righteous there was a glimmer of hope, but for the wicked, only terror. Enoch saw the fate of the sinners, a fate both dreadful and irreversible. They were cast into the abyss, a place of darkness and unquenchable fire. Their souls were tormented for eternity, with the echoes of their own sins as their eternal companions. He saw oppressors, those who trusted in ill-gotten wealth, and those who blasphemed against the Creator. All faced the same end, consumed by divine wrath, erased from the memory of the righteous. Yet Enoch's visions were not without hope. He saw the righteous, clothed in white garments that shone like the sun. Their souls radiated with divine glory as they were led to a place of eternal rest. Here, light never faded, and peace reigned without end. For these, the Creator himself declared, "Well done, my faithful servants. Enter into the joy of your Lord." The scene of judgment was both grand and terrifying. The Creator sat on his throne, emanating a light both beautiful and overwhelming. Angels carried the celestial books, opening them before all creation. No excuse, no plea could alter what was written. The righteous received their reward not because they were perfect, but because they sought justice and walked in righteousness even in a corrupted world. The sinners, however, were judged not only for their actions but for their hardened hearts and their refusal to heed the truth. Enoch also witnessed a great destruction. The wicked cried out for mercy, but it was too late. Their riches, power, and influence were useless on the day of judgment. Temples of idolatry were reduced to ashes, and the works of their hands were consumed by divine fire. But Enoch's visions did not end with condemnation. He saw a new beginning. After judgment, a new earth was established, a world free from sin and corruption. The righteous would reign with the Creator, dwelling in a kingdom where divine light illuminated every corner. These revelations were not meant only for Enoch's time, but for all generations. He understood that the Creator is both just and merciful, always offering a path to salvation before judgment. Enoch's role was clear: to deliver these visions as a warning and a promise, urging humanity to choose the path of righteousness before time ran out. Enoch was shown the unfolding of human history, divided into 7 prophetic weeks. These were not ordinary weeks, but symbolic cycles, each marked by pivotal events that revealed the Creator's justice and mercy. The weeks traced the journey of humanity, from creation's purity to its ultimate judgment and renewal. In the first week, Enoch saw the beginning of all things, a perfect creation, harmonious and unmarred by sin. Humanity lived in peace, walking with the Creator. Yet the fall of man disrupted this harmony. Sin entered the world, and the seeds of rebellion were sown. Even in this first week, Enoch sensed the Creator's sorrow and patience as humanity turned away from His light. The second week was a descent into corruption. The fallen angels descended to earth, bringing forbidden knowledge that led humanity into chaos. These beings taught men how to manipulate the natural world for selfish purposes and introduced practices that defied divine order. This week culminated in catastrophe, the Great Flood. It was a cleansing judgment, wiping away the rampant evil that had consumed the earth. In the third week, a glimmer of hope emerged. A righteous man, Noah, was chosen to preserve life and re-establish divine order. The floodwaters receded, and a new covenant was formed between the Creator and humanity. Yet, as the week progressed, Enoch saw corruption begin to grow again, foreshadowing future judgment. The fourth week brought divine laws and holiness. Enoch witnessed the Creator's gift of sacred commandments, designed to guide humanity toward righteousness. These laws were a covenant of life, but not all would heed them. Many turned away, choosing rebellion over obedience, setting the stage for further decay. In the fifth week, a kingdom of glory and dominion arose. This was a period of renewed hope, as a people devoted to the Creator sought to build a world aligned with divine principles. Yet human blindness to divine wisdom led to treachery and decline. The cycle of rebellion deepened, and humanity prepared for another fall. The 6th week was one of complete spiritual blindness. Humanity became lost, worshiping idols and forsaking the Creator's light. Enoch saw a man ascend to the heavens, a sign that the Creator's plan had not failed, even in humanity's rebellion. By the end of this week, destruction consumed the earth's kingdoms, scattering the chosen people. The 7th week was the darkest of all. Apostasy reached its peak, and the righteous became a remnant in a world dominated by wickedness. Enoch saw the elect rise, chosen to receive divine wisdom. They were prepared for the next stage, a transition to justice and restoration. Each week revealed a pattern of human failure and divine intervention. Yet, Enoch understood that these weeks were not merely about judgment, they were about hope. They pointed to the Creator's unyielding desire to restore creation to its original purpose. As the 7th week closed, Enoch saw a flicker of light. The cycles of rebellion and restoration were not endless. They led to something greater, a promise of a new beginning beyond the decay of the past. The weeks were not just history but prophecy, a roadmap for humanity to understand the Creator's unwavering justice and mercy. Enoch's visions shifted from cycles of corruption and judgment to a radiant future. In the 8th week, he saw the dawn of restoration, a time when justice would rise and the righteous would take their rightful place. It was a week of divine intervention, where the Creator's light began to pierce the darkness that had long covered the earth. In this week, Enoch witnessed a sword being handed to the righteous, a symbol of their newfound authority to execute divine justice. Those who had suffered under oppression would now stand in triumph. The oppressors, once mighty in their wickedness, were brought low, and their empires crumbled. The righteous reclaimed the earth, establishing a kingdom where peace reigned and sin was no more. Enoch saw the construction of eternal dwellings for the chosen. These were not mere earthly structures, but divine creations, houses of glory that reflected the Creator's eternal light. At the heart of this renewed world stood a great temple, not built by human hands, but formed by the divine will. It was a dwelling place for the Creator, a sign that he would walk among his people once more. The 9th week was even more extraordinary. It marked the culmination of divine justice on a global scale. The Creator's judgment extended to every corner of the earth, sweeping away the works of the wicked. Enoch saw the idols of false gods shattered, their temples reduced to ashes. No remnant of corruption remained. This week also heralded the rise of a generation of the righteous, transformed by divine wisdom. They were unlike any who had come before, enlightened with understanding that surpassed human comprehension. These chosen ones were the foundation of the new creation, entrusted with the responsibility to govern in harmony with the Creator's will. As the 9th week progressed, Enoch observed the final removal of sin's roots. The earth, once marred by rebellion and corruption, began to flourish. Rivers flowed with purity, the skies cleared, and the land yielded abundance. It was a world restored, free from the shadows of its past. At the close of the 9th week, Enoch saw a celebration of the righteous. They were gathered in unity, their faces shining with the joy of eternal peace. The Creator himself presided over this moment, declaring, "It is finished. My creation is renewed, and my people dwell in my light forever." For Enoch, these weeks were a glimpse of the Creator's ultimate plan, a promise that, no matter how deep the darkness, light would prevail. The 8th and 9th weeks were not merely about judgment, but about the triumph of justice and the establishment of an eternal kingdom of righteousness. These visions left no doubt the Creator's plan for restoration was certain, and the righteous would inherit a glory beyond imagination. Enoch's voice grew heavy with sorrow as he recounted the visions of what awaited the sinners. He saw their destiny written in vivid, unshakable detail, an end so terrifying that even the earth itself seemed to groan under the weight of their rebellion. These warnings were not mere admonitions, they were declarations of a judgment that could not be escaped. "Woe to you," echoed Enoch's words, directed at those who had trusted in their own strength, wealth, and cunning. He saw the rich who had amassed their fortunes through oppression and deceit. In the day of judgment, their treasures betrayed them, melting like wax in the consuming fire of divine wrath. The homes they had built upon the suffering of others collapsed into ruin, burying them in their pride. Enoch saw rulers who had abused their power, exploiting the weak and ignoring the cries of the oppressed. These leaders, once feared and revered, trembled before the Creator's judgment. Their crowns were cast down, and their deeds exposed for all to see. Their cries for mercy filled the heavens, but no reply came. "Your time has passed," declared the angels. "You turned away from righteousness, and now you face the consequences." The most haunting vision was reserved for those who had directly defied the Creator, leading others into corruption. These sinners, Enoch saw, were bound in chains of darkness, their cries silenced by the weight of their guilt. They had mocked the righteous, dismissing divine laws as outdated and irrelevant. Now they stood condemned, their names erased from the book of life. Yet Enoch's warnings were not only for the powerful and the corrupt. He saw ordinary men and women who had chosen the path of rebellion, ignoring the Creator's call to repentance. Idolatry, greed, and vanity had consumed their lives, and now they faced the full measure of divine justice. The fire that awaited them was not like earthly fire. It burned eternally, consuming without destroying, a torment that echoed their own unrepentant choices. "Woe to you who devour the righteous and rejoice in their suffering," Enoch declared. He saw those who had delighted in the fall of others, whose hearts were hardened against compassion. These would be given over to the very destruction they had brought upon others. Their cries for deliverance would rise, but the heavens would remain silent. Despite the overwhelming imagery of judgment, Enoch's heart remained steadfast in its plea. He urged sinners to abandon their wicked ways while there was still time. "Repent," he cried. "Turn to the Creator, for His mercy is great, and His forgiveness is endless for those who seek Him with a contrite heart." But his visions made one thing clear. The time for repentance was not indefinite. The day of judgment would come like a thief in the night, and once it arrived, there would be no turning back. Enoch saw the rivers of fire, the abyss that awaited the unrepentant, and the stark finality of their fate. These warnings were not spoken in hatred or condemnation, but in hope that even one more soul might be saved. Enoch's voice was a beacon, calling out across the generations, urging all who heard his words to choose the path of righteousness before it was too late. In Enoch's visions, the final chapter of humanity's story unfolded in the 10th week, a time of ultimate reckoning and eternal transformation. He saw a throne of unmatched brilliance, surrounded by an assembly of angels whose voices filled the heavens with songs of justice. This was the day the Creator had set aside since the foundation of the world, the great and eternal judgment. The earth trembled as the heavens opened, revealing the Creator's radiant presence. His throne, blazing like the purest fire, illuminated the entire cosmos. The weight of His glory caused mountains to crumble, oceans to rise, and stars to tremble. Enoch saw every soul, both righteous and wicked, drawn before the throne. their deeds laid bare in the light of absolute truth. The celestial books were opened, and angels read aloud the records of every life. No word, no action, no hidden thought was omitted. For the righteous, this was a moment of vindication. Their faithfulness in the face of corruption, their perseverance through trials, and their commitment to justice were rewarded. They were clothed in garments of dazzling light, crowned with glory, and welcomed into the eternal kingdom. The Creator's voice resounded, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you since the beginning." But for the wicked, the moment was one of terror. Enoch saw the oppressors, blasphemers, and deceivers stand trembling before the throne. Their wealth and power, once their shields, now weighed them down with guilt. They cried for mercy, but the response was final. "Depart from me, you workers of iniquity. You chose rebellion over righteousness, and now you face eternal separation." The judgment was swift and irrevocable. Enoch saw the sinners cast into the abyss, a place of unending darkness and fire. Their torment was not just physical but spiritual, a consuming awareness of what they had rejected. The echoes of their own choices haunted them, and their cries of regret were swallowed by the eternal void. Yet, amidst this harrowing judgment, Enoch saw hope. After the wicked were removed, the earth itself began to transform. The Creator declared, "Behold, I make all things new." The first heaven and earth passed away, replaced by a renewed creation, free from sin and corruption. This new world was a vision of perfection. Enoch saw rivers of crystal-clear water, fields bursting with life, and skies radiant with divine light. The righteous walked in communion with the Creator, their joy unending. There was no longer a need for sun or moon, for the glory of the Lord illuminated everything. Enoch also witnessed the ultimate defeat of the fallen angels. Those who had defied the Creator and corrupted His creation were cast into eternal chains, never to rise again. Their rebellion was erased from the new creation, leaving no trace of their influence. The 10th week marked not only the end of sin, but also the beginning of eternity. Enoch saw countless generations living in peace, their lives filled with the light of the Creator's presence. Justice and mercy were no longer concepts, but realities, woven into the very fabric of existence. Enoch's final vision was one of the Creator walking among His people. There was no more separation, no more sorrow, no more death. The righteous sang songs of joy, and creation itself joined in the chorus. The eternal kingdom was established, and the Creator's will was done on earth as it was in heaven. For Enoch, this vision was not just a conclusion but a promise. It was a reminder that the Creator's justice and mercy are inseparable, and that His plan for restoration would prevail. The 10th week was the fulfillment of every prophecy, the culmination of every hope, and the beginning of a new, eternal era. Enoch's journey through visions, revelations, and divine truths culminated in a message that transcends time. The choices we make echo into eternity. He saw the righteous raised to glory, the sinners condemned to torment, and the Creator's justice fulfilled. Yet, these were not mere stories for contemplation, they were calls to action. Walk in righteousness while there is still time, Enoch implored. The path of righteousness was not one of perfection, but one of intention, humility, and unwavering commitment to the Creator's will. Enoch's revelations served as both a warning and an invitation, a warning that rebellion leads to destruction, and an invitation to partake in the eternal light that awaits the faithful. The visions left no doubt about the reality of the coming judgment. Enoch saw that no soul could escape the Creator's gaze. Every hidden thought, every deed done in secret would be brought to light. And yet, the Creator's mercy was vast. Even in the darkest depths of rebellion, Enoch saw hope for those who turned back to the path of righteousness. His message resonates today, reminding us that the decisions we make now shape our eternal destiny. The rewards of the righteous and the punishments of the wicked are not abstract. They are realities that Enoch witnessed with his own eyes. His words challenge us to examine our hearts, to choose justice over corruption, humility over pride, and light over darkness. Enoch's call is clear: repent, walk in righteousness, and trust in the Creator's plan. The time is short, but the opportunity remains for all who seek it. The promises he recorded are not for a distant people in an ancient time, they are for you, here and now. If this message has stirred something in your heart, let it be a catalyst for change. Reflect on Enoch's words and consider the path you are walking. If you believe in the hope of divine justice and the promise of eternal light, show your support by liking this video. Subscribe to the channel to continue uncovering the mysteries of Enoch's revelations and beyond. Share this message with those who need to hear it. Together, let us walk the path of righteousness, guided by the eternal wisdom of Enoch's vision. The choice is yours, and eternity awaits.